morning, everyone. You all get the notes? Oh, great. So, before we begin our discussion, let me explain how we will proceed. So, you have the printed notes with you, right? So, these are going to be handouts on which you will write whatever I dictate plus revise. So, a lot of things are already mentioned here. In case I mention any additional points, you can just write them here itself. Don't go home and make your separate new notes from this. This is the final notes. Are they clear? Okay. So what we have thought of as far as polity is concerned is we'll initially start our discussion on the schedules. We'll then go to, can I see the notes in terms of, no, this previous one. So firstly, we'll have the schedules, and then we'll also be discussing part 1 and part 2 of our constitution. That is, what is part 1? Union, and part 2, citizenship. And then we'll discuss part 20, amendment procedure. Okay. And then we have fundamental rights, where we'll be covering the entire fundamental rights, including DPSPs and fundamental duties. Okay. So I think we have duties. That is in the next one. No worries. So we can start. Let's begin. Okay. So first up, we have the schedules. So I hope you're all aware of the schedule. Schedule 1. What is that? How many schedules do we have in total? 12. Initially? 8. Great. So we initially 8 and currently 12. The very first schedule is the schedule which contains the names of all the what? States and UTs. So names of states and UTs, you can mention this. Then we have second schedule. Second schedule is salaries. Now the salaries of certain categories of officials only, not all officials. So please tell me quickly whose salaries are mentioned in second schedule. Great. President, then governors, okay, then presiding and deputy presiding officers, okay, then the Supreme Court, High Court, judges and CAG. That's it. Only these people's salaries are mentioned in the second schedule. Salaries, emoluments, whatever you can call it. Okay. You can write this as well. Please mention that. Done. And then we have the third schedule. So what is the third schedule? Oath/affirmation. So please again tell me which categories of people's oath mentioned here? President, governors, vice president, no, ministers, at the state level, at the central level. So first thing is ministers CS, center, states. After this, all the legislators. So MPs, MLAs, MLCs, all their oaths is mentioned. Okay. Beyond that, also the candidates, meaning all those people who are contesting elections, their oath is mentioned. Clear? Not the UPSC candidate. Okay, the candidate who is contesting election, their oath is mentioned. Then, what else? Repeat of Schedule 2. Supreme Court, High Court judges and CAG. A small clarification. The oath affirmation Schedule 3 does not contain the oath of President and the Vice President. Okay. For these people, their oath is mentioned in separate specific articles, not the third schedule. Are we clear? So please don't create your own scenario that CEC's oath is also present and all. Nothing of that sort, only these categories. Once you're done, let me know. We'll proceed. How many of you are taking your first attempt this year? How many of you are taking your second, third attempt this year? Okay. So second, third attempt, you have some learning experience now. Now next is fourth schedule. Of course, makes sense. After 3 we have fourth. So fourth schedule, what is that? Allocation of seats in Rajya Sabha, or let's call it Council of States. Okay, allocation of seats in Council of States. Done. That's the fourth schedule. How many seats are there in Rajya Sabha for Andhra Pradesh? Telangana? Highest is for which state? Okay. And lowest? One for various states. All UTs have representation here. Which UTs? All those UTs which have an assembly will have representation in the Rajya Sabha. So currently 3 UTs have assembly: Jammu and Kashmir, Pondicherry and Delhi. They're very clean. Delhi. Great. Then we have the fifth schedule and the sixth schedule, which we'll discuss in detail later on. For now, fifth schedule is the administration of which areas? Of scheduled areas. SA stands for scheduled areas. How many states? 10 states. Is your state included? I'm assuming you are from either Andhra Pradesh or Telangana. Any outsider? Which state? Is it included? Okay. Any other person? Beyond Andhra and Telangana? No. Okay. So administration of scheduled areas in 10 states. Towards the end, we'll cover this in detail because this has been UPSC's recent favorite. In the last 4 years, 3 questions. Every year in prelims, now they're asking question on scheduled areas. What is a scheduled area? What is the criteria? An area, of course. Tell me, sir. Any area which has preponderance of tribal population, meaning more than 50% people are STs, not SCs, STs. Okay, that's called a scheduled area. Anyway, details later on. Sixth schedule is the administration of tribal areas, where in the northeastern states, please tell me the names of 4 states. Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Tripura. Whatever way you have learnt it, AMTM, AMTZ, it's all your own mnemonics. Done? Next, 7 schedule. Very easy. Lists, 3 lists, union list, state list and concurrent list. Union list has how many topics? 98 topics. Not the entry number, I am talking about the total number of topics. State list, 59 topics and concurrent has 52 topics. I hope you are aware that on concurrent list, both center and states can make laws. Who has overriding power? Center. One small point. This is actually Article 246, which says that you have 3 lists and all. There is also a concept of residuary power, which is Article 248. Belongs to whom? Or Parliament or Center. Like topic. Any example? No. Cyber security. Education. Is in residuary list. Forest. I'm saying residuary power. Residuary. With the 42nd Amendment Act, 5 topics were shifted to concurrent list. That is concurrent. This residuary, like cyber security, artificial intelligence, these kind of topics, which are not mentioned in any list. Are you clear so far? Okay, great. Then we already have 8 schedule. Please check languages. How many originally? 14. Now 22. So you can mention that point also below maybe. Originally 14, now 22. One more thing, when it comes to this, Schedule 8, modifications in Schedule 8 require a constitutional amendment. Okay, just mention the point here. Modifications via Article 368. Just mention this for now. I think you are aware. Article 368 refers to what? Amendment to the Constitution. Okay, so that's about it. One more thing. We do have, certain modifications made, as you all said yourself that, initially we had how many languages? 14, but now we have 22. So 8 additions later on, starting with Sindhi. So just besides that, mention the year and the Amendment Act. So Sindhi, 21st Amendment, 1967. Okay, mention that. For Sindhi, 21st, 1967. Done. Then next, Nepali, Konkani and Manipuri all together, 71st. Very good. So these two and this one, 71st, 1992. Nepali, Konkani, Manipuri. Are you clear? 1 in 67, these 3 in 1992. And then these 4, the bottom 4, Dogri, Santhali, Bodo and Maithili. These 4, 92nd Amendment Act. 92nd of the year 2003. Is the point clear? All okay? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 4, 8. 14 plus 8, 22. One small point. This word Odia, the spelling has been modified. Earlier, this was O-R-I-Y-A. So somehow they felt that no, the correct thing is O-D-I-A. Who are we to stop them? Right? So no problem. Even the spelling change was done through a constitutional amendment. So this is 96th one. You can write in bracket O-R-I-Y-A. So you know that the spelling was changed. And then 96th of the year 2011. Done. 8th schedule. Language. Okay. English is not mentioned here, just to clarify. But Nepali is mentioned, foreign language. The only foreign language. Okay. Others are all Indian languages. Your language is there, don't worry. Don't panic at all things okay. That's it. Schedule 8 is done. Just on a side note, there is also a topic called classical languages. Now, this classical language concept is not mentioned in the Constitution. It is important to know this. Please write there, not mentioned in Constitution. Okay. And this status of a classical language is given by central government. Sahitya Kala Academy or the Sahitya Kala Academy, it actually bestows or gives the recommendation to add the names of these languages in the status of classical language. So please mention there, not mentioned in or not in Constitution. I hope you are aware that UPSC has this new habit. They ask the questions like this, as per the Constitution, and then the statement continues. So I don't just have to know whether the fact is correct or not. I should also be clear whether it is mentioned in the Constitution or not. Clear on this point? Okay. So originally we had Tamil, the first language, to be added here. Then Sanskrit. Then 2 languages were added together, Kannada and Telugu. Then 2 more, Malayalam, and then later Odia. 6. And then complete silence. After around 10 years, because of a lot of pressure and possibly elections around the corner, because of importance of the language, Marathi, Pali, Prakrit, Assamese and Bengali were added in the list of classical languages. Assam, Bengal elections, or possibly, who knows? They generally felt that. See, there's a lot of demand for Marathi to be added for a long period of time. Every time they would have this Akhil Bharatiya Marathi Sammelan, they would always raise the demand. So government said, okay, let's add that to the list of classical languages. In fact, they slightly modified the criteria also to incorporate Pali. Anyway, this is the criteria. 4 criteria. Number 1, if you want your language to be called a classical language, the text has to be ancient text. High antiquity is what we call it. Antiquity, not that antiquity, very old. Okay. So language must be very old, 1500 years old at least. Then availability of texts. Ancient writings are available in this language. Ancient writings available in this language are highly valued and passed. Are highly valued and passed down through generations. You should have texts available in this language. Only then can you do a research on the language. Then number 1, the language must be original. It should not be borrowed from any other speech community, like say Hindi, for example. Okay, Sanskrit. That is why we don't have Hindi. We have Sanskrit. And lastly, the language should have evolved over time. English, for example. If you look at the classical English, Shakespeare's English, have you heard those thou, thou, hath it, dangerous terms? That is classical literature. In current English, things are different. So there should be a complete evolution of the language. The classical form of that language should be different from the current form. If you meet these criteria, then we can give the status of classical language to your language. Clear? Mug up these 5 names, they are important recent additions. These are the older ones. And the criteria. 4 criteria: ancient text, availability of text, originality and evolution over time. Should we proceed now? So this was the what? 8th schedule. Now let's, do we have some pages? Okay. We proceed from here. All done. Then let's come to 9th schedule. Do we have space? Okay. What is the 9th schedule? Please tell me. Defection? Land reforms. No, you're giving me example of what kind of laws are there in 9th schedule. I want what is 9th schedule. Immunity of laws from judicial review. We made a separate schedule called 9th schedule. A box has been created. If you make a law and put it in this box, it cannot be challenged on the grounds of violation of fundamental rights. Okay. So, write like this. Immunity from judicial review. So, slight modification in understanding. We, when we were asked 9th schedule, we said this, not land reform. Land reform is an example. We have other types of laws also in the 9th schedule. For example, Bonded Labor System Abolition Act is also mentioned there. Motor Vehicles Act is also mentioned there. And the very infamous, or famous, Tamil Nadu reservation, 69% reservation, that's also mentioned there. Okay. Anyway, and you'll be surprised to know that Tamil Nadu reservation, 69%, it is still pending in court. Okay. The matter was challenged 30 years back. It is still pending in court. Judgment has not come on that. We don't know what judgment will come now. And if tomorrow a judgment comes, when the court cancels it, what will happen now? Sorry, come again? Because IR Coelho judgment. We'll come to that under fundamental rights. I am saying that you have immunity from judicial review. But the point is that in 2007 a judgment was passed called IR Coelho case, where the Supreme Court said that, see, it is immune, great, but if it challenges or violates basic structure, we can review it. And that has been challenged on the ground of violation of basic structure. Okay. So that we will see later on. Then Schedule 10, I'm just writing it here for now because we'll discuss it in detail under chapter Parliament. What is that? Please tell me. Anti-defection law. Schedule 9, when was it added? First Amendment Act 1951. Schedule 10, when was it added? Please tell me. Very good. 52nd Amendment Act 1985. Then 11th schedule. What is that? Panchayat. What Panchayat? Panchayat is in schedule 11. And what is in part 9 of the constitution? Very simple. The point is the same, slight difference. In schedule, in part 9, we added this topic called panchayats. 73rd of the year 92. So we made the provisions. And we've also said that we can devolve some functions to panchayats. Yes or no? What kind of functions can be given to panchayats? Just like what kind of topics are there on which center can make laws? Where is that mentioned? Schedule 7. Yes or no? Similarly, what kind of topics can be given to panchayats is mentioned in 11th. Okay? There are a list of 29 topics. 29 topics for panchayats. and these are actually called functional items. Similarly, we have the 12th schedule, which has how many topics? 18 topics for municipalities. And as you said already, that this is through the 73rd Amendment Act of the year 92. This is through the 74th Amendment Act of the year 90. 12 schedules done. We'll cover separately 5th, 6th and 10th schedule later on. Okay. Just give me 2 minutes, please. Okay, so let's continue. Now, one small topic, though we have information, but somehow UPSC does not ask questions from this topic. But very easy to ask a question. So, these are the sources of our constitution, from where we have borrowed various provisions. So, UK, we have borrowed the parliamentary setup, single citizenship, rule of law, writs, first past the post, the process of passage of bills, cabinet system, bicameralism. Bicameralism, how many houses? Speaker's post, parliamentary privilege. Then from Government of India Act, we have borrowed these provisions, including emergency provisions. Weimar Republic, what does it mean? Germany, before the rise of Hitler, Germany. Small point of clarification. The emergency provisions are borrowed from Government of India Act, but the suspension of fundamental rights during emergency, those are borrowed from Germany. Okay. Then Canada, or as Punjabis call it, Canada. Federal setup, residuary power, appointment of governor, Advisory jurisdiction. Important. We cover this under judiciary. What is meant by advisory jurisdiction? Then South Africa, we have two things that have been added. Just your revision thing, you have to simply go through it. France, we have three things: liberty, equality, and fraternity, and then the idea of republic. Australia has concurrent list, joint sitting, and freedom of trade and commerce. Ireland, DPSP, method of election of president, nomination of members to Rajya Sabha. Like here, how many seats for Rajya Sabha? How many MPs are nominated to Rajya Sabha? 12 MPs to Rajya Sabha. In Ireland, 10 are nominated there. Then president's power to send messages to the parliament. Article 86. Then Soviet duties, idea of socialism. Then from USA, rights, judicial review, post of VP, impeachment of president, process of removal of SC, HC judges, independence of judiciary, due process of law. Which judgment added due process of law? Under which article was it added? (21). This has been interpreted under Article 21, in which very famous judgment? Menka Gandhi. Her name is Menka Gandhi. Menka Gandhi. You know Gandhi family? You know Gandhi family? Indira Gandhi. Two sons. Sanjay Gandhi. Wife? Menka Gandhi. That same Menka Gandhi. Actually, her passport was impounded and she was not allowed to go outside the country under the Passports Act. So she challenged that law itself. How can you impound my passport? So for the first time, the court actually interpreted that yes, people can question the law itself. And right to travel abroad has become a fundamental right. Though money is required, but it is a fundamental right. Don't go and claim, I want to go to USA right now. Government, send me to USA. Money is required, but you can travel anywhere. And then Japan, procedure established by law. Okay. Now come to preamble quickly. I hope you have marked up the preamble. If not, please do. Not right now. Go home and do it. Read the preamble every day, 1 or 2 minutes of time. Scroll 2 reels less. Read the preamble. After 7 days, you would have marked it up automatically. That's how you mark up the preamble. So we the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign social. In your notes, can you see a mild highlight? I think is visible. Just underline those 3 words: socialist, secular, and integrity. So India is a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social justice, economic justice, political justice, liberty, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, worship, equality of status, opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual. And the unity and integrity of India. So in our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, 26th day of November. So this 26th of November 1949 is known as what day? It is known as Constitution Day. In the class, I will use this symbol to denote the Constitution. So don't be confused. Don't use this in your mains answer writing, please. Okay? Or else you will be confused. What the hell is this? So we do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. Date of adoption is 26th November. Date of commencement is 26th January. Okay? Just below that, put a star mark and write date of commencement. We adopted it on 26th November, but the Constitution began. Date of commencement was 26th of January 1950. Poon Swaraj, Lahore session. That's why date became important. Done. Preamble. So important things like the purpose. Preamble is the essence of the entire constitution, the summary of the entire constitution. So preamble tells us the purpose, nature of Indian state. That Indian state is sovereign, it is socialist, it is secular, it is democratic, it is republic. It also tells us the goals of the Indian political system. What are the goals? So justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, corruption, just that. Those 4 things only. Then the source. What is the source? We, the people of India. Did you read the language there? They say, we have given to ourselves. We were not there also, but still, we have given to ourselves this constitution. That's the beauty of it. Knowingly, unknowingly, we have been told that you said so. This is important. Preamble defines the objectives. What are the ultimate objectives of this rule book? Because the preamble is the essence, the iCard of the constitution. It's an integral part of the constitution. What is meant by an integral part? A part which cannot be removed is called integral part. Okay. So, in a very famous LIC case of 1995, Supreme Court said that preamble is integral part of the Indian Constitution, a part which cannot be removed. Okay. Then, preamble contains basic structure. Both these things were mentioned in the Keshwan Bharti 1973, and preamble is amendable. You can check here. These 3 words that we have highlighted or underlined were added later on. Clear so far? Now, most important, preamble is not a source of power. Okay. So we say it has no legal effect on its own. Must be read with other parts to derive complete meaning. Write this, I'll explain what it means. 2 points. Number 1, number 2. This is must be read with other parts to derive complete meaning. Other parts or other provisions. Done? What it means is, if something is mentioned in preamble, we can't go to court and claim it just because it is mentioned in preamble. It should be mentioned in the constitution also. So we say that what is not stopped by the constitution can't be stopped by the preamble. What is not given or provided for by the constitution cannot be claimed via preamble. Alone, preamble has no meaning. In the court, we have to read the preamble with other provisions to derive better meaning of the entire constitution. For example, if you look at this statement, equality of status and opportunity. So you can't go to court and claim that since it is mentioned equality of status, I want the same status as Mahesh Babu right now. You can't claim that. Okay. Because the constitution does not mention this kind of thing. That equality of status is a fundamental right. It is not, sadly. Okay. But what you can claim is secularism, democracy. So again, because it is mentioned in the constitution, you can claim those things. So preamble on its own is not a source of power. You can't go to court and claim preamble. I hope this point is clear. Now, the keywords, the meanings of which are very clear. We have something called sovereign, which means no external power can dictate the government of India. There is no authority above the government. That is called sovereign. Is India a sovereign nation? Of course, we are. That is why Trump kept on shouting, but still we kept on purchasing oil from Russia. Few years back, the issue was that don't purchase oil from Iran. USA imposed sanctions on Iran, and we had to follow the sanctions. Why? Then where is the sovereignty? That is sovereignty. USA imposed sanctions on Iran. India said, okay, we have to choose. Should we be friends with Iran or USA? We chose USA. No problem. This time they imposed sanctions on Russia. We chose Russia. The point is this freedom of choice is sovereignty. We are free to decide. We are a part of UN because we have decided. We are a part of these organizations because of it's our choice. Like, somebody might tell you that please don't talk to that person. Block his number immediately. Now it's your choice whether you block that number or block this fellow's number only. That is sovereignty. The freedom. Clear? Then democratic government derives authority from whom? The people. So Abraham Lincoln's for the people, of the people and by the people, which we have modified, very well. Right? No? It fars the people, it offs the people, and it buys the people. Don't use this, please. Stick with this only. We recently got purchased in the municipal elections and panchayat elections. No? We didn't vote here in those elections, panchayat, municipality elections and all. No? In the Vidhan Sabha election. Voted. How much money was given? No, I heard that 2,000 rupees, 3,000, that's the rate. We know bribery in elections, though it's an election offense, just to clarify, your voting right can be taken away for 6 years. But still, bribe in voting, so we are literally buying the people. Republic, that's an interesting term. India is a republic. UK is not a republic. Why? Monarchy. So republic means the head of state is elected. This means public posts. Below that, please write this statement. Public posts are open to all. Public posts are open to all. One more point. Sovereign power lies in the hands of people. Sovereign power lies in the hands of people. Are you clear? So republic means that the head of state in your country has to be elected. Like say France. UK has a monarchy. That's the opposite of republic. Why? Why is that an opposite? Because their head of state is not elected. It's a hereditary post. The crown, king, queen, whatever drama they have. Okay. Then justice. What is meant by justice? Justice simply means fair and moral treatment of all. That's called justice. Fair and moral treatment. You can mention that if you want to. If you don't, no problem, but still. Fair and moral treatment. So we have social justice. Article 14 to 18 provides for social justice. Economic justice. DPSP is fair, slightly narrow. Can we narrow it down? One article in particular provides for economic justice. 30. Very good. 39B and C. DPSPs can also be fair, but we have to be slightly more accurate. 39B and C specially provide for economic justice. Why? Because these two clauses say that we should redistribute the country's resources and we should prevent concentration of wealth. 39B and C, very, very important. And then political justice. So, Article 19, Article 20, right to form associations, etc., right to take part in electoral process. Article 20, rights of accused. Okay. So, political justice is you have the freedom to form association, protest in a semi-nude manner also, like in Delhi. Congress went to the youth workers of Congress. Did you see the protest recently? Right? In the AI Summit, they went to protest against India-USA relation. Made no sense. It was AI Summit. But Congress is Congress, you know very well. And they went to protest semi-nude actually. And those were youth workers. They were all 50 plus it seemed. But still youth. That's the beauty of Congress. If your leader is youth at 60, then of course, let's not make any personal remarks, please. I'm not saying all this. People are saying all these things. I have full respect for the evergreen bachelor of our country. Anyway. Now, liberty. Liberty has two meanings. Liberty from and liberty of. So we say freedom from and freedom to. Absence of restraint on individual. This is what is the reference to freedom from. This is a negative meaning of liberty, slightly older meaning now. We don't normally use this meaning of liberty. Okay? Because it says, what is liberty? Complete freedom from any kind of restraint. That is not possible. Okay? So now we have modified the meaning in political science of liberty. The new meaning is what? Providing opportunities for development. Freedom to develop oneself fully. That is liberty. Okay? So second part is a reference to freedom to, a positive meaning. See, freedom is a general word. If freedom is provided for in the constitution or through law, it is called liberty. Legal freedom is liberty. Are they clear? That's the point. Freedom from, freedom to. Freedom to develop yourself fully. Like you have the freedom to sit for UPSC. Yes or no? Then equality. Absence of any special privilege is equality. And then we have fraternity. Sense of brotherhood. This ensures unity in the country. Sense of brotherhood. Don't think you have to tie Rakhi to everyone. That's not required. The feeling of unity is sufficient. Sense of brotherhood. Okay. 3 words added later on. Socialism, secularism and integrity. Which Amendment Act? Very good. 42nd during emergency 3 words were enforced upon us. First is socialism. So seeks to ensure social ownership of resources to promote equality, welfare, justice. That's the idea. Then secularism. Indian secularism means what? So normally secularism means state has no religion, etc. Strict separation. But in India, we have a different meaning of secularism. Of course, state has no religion. We promote all religions equally. Great. But the crux of Indian secularism, which makes it different from the Western secularism, is this. What is principled intervention? Or we can also call it principled distance. Both things are the same. Meaning, the word secularism means what? Strict separation between state and church. This is the original meaning of secularism. State will not interfere in church and church should not interfere in state. Church meaning religion in the West. In India, we said this is not possible. If your religious practice creates any kind of, marginalization, discrimination, etc., the state can interfere. It is mentioned under Article 25, we'll see that, I'll show you, that state can provide for social welfare and reform. So strict separation does not work in India. That is why we say our secularism allows intervention, but based on principles. What principles? Of non-discrimination, equality, dignity, respect, etc. That is why principled intervention or principled distance. So state keeps a safe distance from religion, but can interfere if you do any kind of drama which violates dignity of people. Okay, you don't give equal property rights, you marry up to 4 times. Not all things have been removed, but we are slowly going there. Like triple talaq was removed. Hindu code bills were made to give equal rights to property to women also, or daughters, should I say. Minority rights, guardianship rights are there. Okay, though again there are certain exceptions there. Like I hope you are aware that a single male cannot adopt in the country. It is not possible, not allowed. A single female can adopt a child. Single male cannot. Okay. Then, of course, some things remain. Some issues remain, like the issue of polygamy amongst Muslims, or maybe underage marriages and all. We had petitions in court regarding that, but no questions are being raised. In Goa, we have a problem. Goa has something called a Portuguese, not UCC, Portuguese Civil Code, which they claim falsely as a UCC. Why? Because it does not allow polygamy amongst Muslims. But the Goan Portuguese Civil Code actually allows bigamy amongst Hindus. If by the age of 25, your spouse, your wife cannot have a child, you can marry again. If by age of 30, your spouse cannot have a male child, you can marry again. Don't go to Goa, relax. Okay. But these are small concerns that happen in Goa, the Portuguese Civil Code, but nothing has been happening in the courts so far. Okay, courts are busy in other things. Secularism, principled intervention. I would also request all of you to, there is a book of NCERT called Political Theory. In that there is a chapter 8 on secularism. Please read the chapter whenever you have free time before your main exam. Anyway, that book is required to be read for the main exam. But that chapter 8 beautifully describes the concept of Indian secularism. The book is called Political Theory. Done? Integrity. Putting an end to separatist tendencies. This was added because Indira Gandhi had claimed emergency, and she had claimed that, this is a plot by the foreign hand to topple my government. That's what any leader claims. If you want to have authoritarian tendency, you claim foreign disturbances. So for that, she added the word integrity. That our target is to put an end to all those tendencies of trying to part away from India. Clear? Preamble. Keywords, meaning, important. Now the first part. Articles 1 to 4, 4 articles, 2 are important. First up, Article 1, and you know very well that our Article 1 talks about the name and the territory of the Union. So, India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. So, our constitution starts with a confusion only. What to call? India or Bharat? Let's call both. India, that is Bharat. To avoid any kind of issue, we call it both. Okay. But if you call it Bharat, then people become very upset and angry. We don't know why. Like a couple of years back, Bharat was mentioned somewhere. So, G20 summit, the placard had Bharat mentioned. People became very upset. How dare you do this nonsense? They should have read the constitution that it is okay. But I don't know what the motive of the government was. But you can call India or Bharat, whatever name. One more thing. So, India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. What are these states? So, the second clause says, the states and the territory, the boundary thereof, shall be as specified in the, we know very well, first schedule, names of states and the duties. And then we have a word called territory of India. So, we have two words. Union. What is meant by Union of India? states. What is meant by territory of India? States. The territory of India shall comprise the territories of states, the UTs, which are mentioned where? Again, first schedule. Okay. Underline this also, underline this also. And such other territories as may be acquired in future. Future acquisition. If tomorrow we acquire Bangladesh, then that will also become part of territory of India. Are we clear? But who would want to acquire Bangladesh? We can get the ports there. That's of sense. Otherwise, people there are hooligans, so it's okay. We are better off without Bangladesh. Done? So normally we say that this word union has a specific reason. Why did we add the word union? Because we say this symbolizes that state cannot move out of this country. This marriage has no divorce. You cannot break away from India. Maybe you can have a plan. Like DMK, till 1960s, they had planned to move out of India. Then they realized it is not possible. They said, okay, let's drop the plan. Let's just create a divide in the country. Let's just provide for governance in the country. So, state has no right to secede, meaning move out of the country. Also, India is not formed by some contract signed by formerly independent countries like USA. USA is a coming together federation. Former independent areas came together, signed a contract that will be called United States of America. India is a holding together federation. Okay? Holding together, centralized tendency. So center and all the states together. Clear? So this says that India is a holding together federation. And since I am making this statement that states have no right to move out of India, this means that India is an indestructible union. Okay? Is this point clear so far? So, the union can't be destroyed, at least not peacefully. I think, frankly, no part wants to move out now. We might have sporadic movements here and there, like the Khalistani movement, or maybe the Kuki land movement, etc. But nothing is substantial actually, which is of a threat to country. Anyway, India is too large to have these as genuine threats, but still. Okay. One more very important article is Article 3. It talks about internal reorganization. How to internally modify the boundaries of states. And this article goes to show how centralized our country is or our constitution is. Okay. A lot of these states have started claiming federalism. In fact, some states are making statements like sovereignty. That is a bit too much. Sovereignty of the state. Let us also tell those states and the governments the reality. Article 3 says formation of new states and alteration of areas, boundaries or names, etc. Read the language. Parliament may, by law. What is by law? Simple majority. By law in the constitution symbolizes simple majority. You can underline this and write simple majority. So by a simple majority, what can you do? You can internally reorganize the country. Form a new state, increase area, diminish the area, alter the boundary, alter the name also. You don't even need a special majority. Okay. So tomorrow, if the center wants, it can change the name of Tamil Nadu to Hindi land. It won't. That's my point. It can bifurcate UP into 4 parts. It won't, but that's the whole point. It can be done. This goes on to show that the states have no integrity. Of what kind of integrity are you claiming? Your name can be modified. Your boundaries can be modified without your consent, is my point. You go to any strong federal nation, say USA. In USA, in their constitution, it is mentioned you cannot modify the boundary or name of the state without their permission. Go to Australia, same provision. If you want to change the name of a state or the boundaries, you have to get the permission of the state. In India, what happens? If a bill is brought like this, you take the bill, and first condition is that this bill should have the recommendation of president. And then you send this bill to the, let's say you want to reorganize Andhra Pradesh into 2 states, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So you bring a bill first. What is that bill? The bill is Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Bill. And then you mention the year, let's say 2014, whatever. This bill is sent to Andhra Pradesh Assembly. Andhra Pradesh, what do you think? What do you want? Should we divide it into 2 parts? Andhra says no. Center says we don't care. Opinion which is not binding. What kind of action? Single state. Why would we need 2 states? Any state can go to Supreme Court. Article 131. That is the original jurisdiction of Supreme Court. That any state can go to the Supreme Court against the center. But that is a court case. Right? And just to clarify, if you have any confusion that if the center tries to again bifurcate Andhra Pradesh further into 2 parts, we'll go to Supreme Court. Let me clarify. Supreme Court in the Mullaperiyar case has said that the power of Parliament to reorganize the country is exclusive and plenary. Plenary means unconditional. Are we clear? This is a Supreme Court judgment only. Power of Parliament to reorganize is exclusive. What is meant by exclusive? Exclusive means only that authority has the power. Clear? Exclusive and plenary. Plenary means unconditional. No condition can be imposed on internal reorganization. Clear? Yes. This was a concern raised in the Constituent Assembly, that you have reduced the states to municipalities. What is this nonsense? To which Ambedkar responded that don't worry, the center will not misuse the provision. And this is those rare achievements in our country where center has not misused the provision. Most demand for bifurcation come from states. Post 1956, center has never misused this provision. Never, ever, not in a single case. Center has more interest in having larger states. Okay, demand came from Telangana people. You are upset that we are not being given equality with respect to resources, etc. Center had no interest in all this. So this is one rare provision which center does not use. You'll ever hear a discussion. Any party in power, Congress, BJP, it does not matter. but no merit because it was based on linguistic criteria, so no problem. Though people try to file petitions, it's all rejected. That's the process. You follow process, no problem. Okay, one small point. This Article 3 shows us one more thing. Union's boundary cannot be destroyed. Yes or no? India cannot be broken. But states' boundaries? So, why don't we complete the statement? Indestructible union of destructible states. And my point here is, the source of this indestructible union is which article? Article 1. And the source of this is which article? Article 3. Okay. That is why in USA they say indestructible union of indestructible states, because their permission is required. Done? One small point is missing. Article 3 is used only for internal reorganization. If today the center says that, okay, we feel let's give Hyderabad to Pakistan only, right? Can they do it? Because here it says that Parliament by law, simple majority, can diminish the area of any state, reduce the area. Hyderabad sent to Pakistan. It can't be done like this. It can be done actually, but it requires constitutional amendment. Article 368. Now below this, put a star mark and write Article 3 is limited to domestic reorganization only. Full stop. Continuing the same point. To cede, give up. To cede Indian territory to a foreign country requires Article 368. Requires Article 368. Okay. Done. Give a dash and write this. Berubari Union 1960. This is a presidential reference where Supreme Court made this statement. Berubari was being given to East Pakistan. It was an enclave, and Nehru signed an agreement with Firoz Shah Noon. It was called the Nehru-Noon Agreement. Firoz Shah Noon was the 7th PM of Pakistan. 1958. India has 1st PM. Pakistan has 7th PM. The country was doomed to fail right at the beginning. We knew very well. Anyway, so in that case, the Supreme Court said that no, you can't do this through executive order and all. You have to use Article 368. Clear? If you want to give up some land to a foreign country. Okay. But again, you know the story of Kachativu that was given to Sri Lanka by who? Indira Gandhi. Where is the amendment? No amendment. Nothing. On her own, she has given it. It has been challenged in the court. It is pending in the court. That's the beauty of it. Country is Gandhi family's property. I hope you are aware of this. They can do whatever they like. It has been challenged in the court, and the government's claim at that point of time was that we never had command over it. That was their claim. But both parties submitted their submissions. Rejoinder was never submitted. the case is pending. It will always be pending on, don't worry. These issues are best left untouched. If you let sleeping dogs lie, that's how it is. Okay. Now under the same provision, just to give you a small clarification, we have important point to add. States in our country, except of course Sikkim, Puducherry, Dadar, Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu, states are made through simple majority only. Sikkim is an exception. Sikkim was not a part of India. Okay. In fact, Sikkim wanted to join India since 1950, but Chachaji did not want it. I don't know what Chachaji wanted. Nobody knows what Chachaji wanted. Pandit Nehru. But finally, in 1974, Sikkim joined India as an associate state. Okay. A separate amendment act was passed to add Sikkim. Separate article was added called Article 2A. And a separate schedule was added called Schedule 10. Next year, when Sikkim was an associate state, Sikkim said, no, we want to have full-fledged marriage. Live-in is, okay, great. We have enjoyed 1 year. Marriage now. Said, okay, no problem. So, this article was repealed, this Schedule 10 was repealed, and Sikkim became a full-fledged part of India. Okay. So, that was the state which was formed through a constitutional amendment. Other states, not really. Are they clear? Okay. So, that is why, Schedule 10 initially was for Sikkim. It was added, then removed. Again, we are back to Schedule 9. And then in 1995, we made one more Schedule 10, which was ADL, Anti-Defection Law. Okay. Great. Let's proceed. What's the next topic that you have in your notes? Citizenship. Yes? Doubt? No? Oh, yes. Topic, yes. I thought doubt, yes. Citizenship, part 2. Constitutional provisions are not important here. Why? Because Articles 5, 6, 7, 8 tell us who was or who was not a citizen of India on the date of commencement of the Constitution. On 26th January, who is a citizen, who is not a citizen. That's it. What happens afterwards? So, the Article 11 says, Parliament by law can decide. Parliament can make a law and decide how to get the citizenship of the country. Clear? So, we have a law. What is that called? So, Article 11. Parliament by law to determine. And we have determined it through a law called Citizenship Act 1955. Okay. Great. Interesting. Are we going too fast? All okay? Everyone? You seem to have a pretty good response. Nice. Recently, I have been going through very bad experience of responses, so it is nice that you have good response. This means you have revised things properly. Okay, so how do we acquire citizenship? 5 ways. By birth, when you are born in India. Born inside India. By birth. But just to clarify, no longer does it depend on birth only. Okay? There is a concept used globally called jus soli. Don't worry. It is written as till 1987, jus soli, pronounced as jus soli. Jus soli means citizenship by birth, right of the soil. By virtue of being born in that country, you get citizenship. That's called jus soli. India had this actually till 1987. Because of Assam Accord and the problem of Bangladeshis coming to India and claiming citizenship, we had to make a change that no. From 87 onwards, even if you're born in India, within India, your citizenship is based on parents. Based on parents, that is after 1987. Okay, so all of you are Indian citizens. Why? Because either of your parents are Indian citizens. Go home, thank your parents today. Okay, not because you are born. Are we clear? You are born in India, so you meet the first criteria to be entered by birth. But your parents have to be Indian citizens. Are you clear? Jus soli, right of the soil. Then by descent. This is for those people who are born to Indian parents but outside India. Some of you here might clear the exam and get the IFS foreign service. You are posted in say Pakistan or maybe Uganda, Somalia, New York, Geneva. Happy now? So you are posted in New York, okay? And you somehow, let's say, get married there and you have a kid there. Now the kid is not born in India, but is born to Indian parents. You can get the kid Indian citizenship by descent. So this is for people born outside India. This is also based on parents. So can we call it based on ancestry or ethnicity? Right? Based on blood, not directly, but because you are born to Indian parents, you are getting citizenship. This concept where your citizenship depends on your parents is called jus sanguinis. Jus sanguinis. Guinis. Is this point clear? Jus soli is based on birth. Jus sanguinis is based on descent, parents, ancestry. So just to clarify, both these happen to Indian parents. If you are born to Indian parents by birth, meaning within India or outside India. Only two things are there. Either you're born inside India or outside India. No third thing, right? These two are for foreigners. Foreigners. Aliens. So these two are meant for aliens. People who are born or who are not Indian citizens. At the time of birth, they were some other country citizen. Foreigners. Clear? So foreigners have two ways of getting Indian citizenship. One is by registration. This depends on association with Indian citizen. Either you have some ancestry, blood, your great grandparents were Indian citizens, your parents were Indian citizens, or through matrimony, marriage. Okay? But you have to stay for at least 7 years in that marriage. So let's say you somehow trap a foreigner, somehow you marry a foreigner. You make them fall in love with you, with your skills somehow, and now you want the foreigner to apply for Indian citizenship. They have to firstly tolerate you for 7 years. Then they can apply for citizenship. Under what? Registration. Because they have an association with an Indian citizen. Sonia Gandhi? No, Indira Gandhi. Sonia Gandhi. Sonia Gandhi, though she applied for citizenship after 10-15 years, but still that's how she got the citizenship registration. Okay. The other is naturalization. Those foreigners who have no association with any Indian citizen, nor do they want to have association with Indian citizen. Okay. So let's say a foreigner comes to India, starts vlogging here and there, eats the street food, goes crazy completely, and says, I love India, I want to be in India only. Great. If he survives the Indian street food and the Indian air quality index, you go to foreign countries, pathetic air quality. Air quality index is 10, 15, 20. What nonsense is this? Right? Come to India, 500, 600. And then the street food, we will hygiene fully maintained. So if you can survive that amazing hygiene and all, because most foreigners come and they immediately suffer from some kind of issue. Even NRIs, if somebody stays outside the country for too long, that becomes a problem. NRIs, right? Non-resident Indians. People who come back with a changed fake accent, NRIs. So people who come to India, they have no association with an Indian citizen. They like the country, they want Indian citizenship. Foreigners. Clear? Naturalization. Okay? But for them, one special condition. You have to stay, as I said, you have to prove that you are worthy of being in India. So, no association with Indian citizen. That's one thing. Also, those people who want to obtain citizenship by naturalization, they need to take an oath of allegiance. Loyalty. You know loyalty? How do you know loyalty? Old term. Nowadays it's not there, but still, okay. So, loyalty towards Indian Constitution. Allegiance. So, one oath is required. Oath of allegiance. That's one thing. Now the more important point. You can draw here itself. I will draw it in a separate page. Should we proceed? So the problem here is that you have to stay in India for some time. How long is the question? So follow this carefully.